Jordan Peterson, born June 12, 1962, is a Canadian clinical psychologist, cultural critic, and professor of psychology. He was the eldest of 3 children born to Walter and Beverly Peterson. Beverly was a librarian at the Fairview campus of Grande Prairie Regional College, and Walter was a school teacher. His middle name is Bernt, after his Norwegian great-grandfather. Peterson grew up in a mildly Christian household. In junior high school, Peterson became friends with Rachel Notley and her family. Notley became leader of the Alberta New Democratic Party and the 17th Premier of Alberta. Peterson was a member of the New Democratic Party from ages 13 to 18. As a teenager, Peterson decided that religion was for the ignorant, weak, and superstitious, and hoped for a left-wing revolution, a hope that lasted until he met left-wing activists in college. Education. After graduating from Fairview High School in 1979, Peterson entered Grande Prairie Regional College to study political science and English literature, studying to be a corporate lawyer. During this time, he read The Road to Wigan Pier by George Orwell, which significantly affected his educational focus and worldview. He later transferred to the University of Alberta, where he completed his BA in political science in 1982. Afterwards, he took a year off to visit Europe, where he began studying the psychological origins of the Cold War, 20th century European totalitarianism, and the works of Carl Jung, Friedrich Nietzsche, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and Fyodor Dostoevsky. Peterson then returned to the University of Alberta and received a BA in psychology in 1984. In 1985, he moved to Montreal to attend McGill University, where he earned his PhD in clinical psychology under the supervision of Robert O. Peel in 1991, and remained as a postdoctoral fellow at McGill's Douglas Hospital until June 1993, working with Peel and Maurice Dongier. While at McGill University and the Douglas Hospital, Peterson conducted research into familial alcoholism and its associated psychopathologies, such as childhood and adolescent aggression and hyperactive behavior. Career. Peterson at the University of Toronto in March 2017. From July 1993 to June 1998, Peterson lived in Arlington, Massachusetts, while teaching and conducting research at Harvard University, where he was hired as an assistant professor in the psychology department, later becoming an associate professor. During his time at Harvard, he studied aggression arising from drug and alcohol abuse. An article in the Harvard Crimson said he possessed a willingness to take on any research project, no matter how unconventional. Author Greg Hurwitz, a former student of Peterson's at Harvard, has cited Peterson as an inspiration of his, and psychologist Shelley Carson, former PhD student and now professor at Harvard, recalled that Peterson's lectures had something akin to a cult following, stating, "I remember students crying on the last day of class because they wouldn't get to hear him anymore." Following his associate position at Harvard, Peterson returned to Canada in 1998 to become a full professor at the University of Toronto. Peterson's areas of study and research within the fields of psychology are psychopharmacology, abnormal, neuro, clinical, personality, social, industrial and organizational, religious, ideological, political, and creativity. Peterson has authored or co-authored more than 100 academic papers and was cited more than 18,000 times as of 2022. For most of his career, Peterson maintained a clinical practice, seeing about 20 people a week. He has been active on social media, and in September 2016, he released a series of videos in which he criticized Bill C-16. As a result of new projects, he decided to put the clinical practice on hold in 2017 and temporarily stopped teaching as of 2018. In February 2018, Peterson entered into an agreement with the College of Psychologists of Ontario, CPO, after a professional misconduct complaint about his communication and the boundaries he sets with his patients. The college did not consider a full disciplinary hearing necessary and accepted Peterson entering into a 3-month undertaking to work on prioritizing his practice and improving his patient communications. Peterson had no prior disciplinary punishments or restrictions on his clinical practice. In the fall of 2021, Peterson retired from the University of Toronto, becoming Professor Emeritus. In May 2022, he became Chancellor of Ralston College, a liberal arts education project. Along with Baroness Stroud and John Anderson, Jordan Peterson founded Alliance for Responsible Citizenship in June 2023. He hosted its international conference in October of that year. In January 2023, the CPO, expressing concern that Peterson lacked professionalism in public statements, ordered him to undergo social media communication coaching. Social media, YouTube. In 2013, Peterson registered a YouTube channel named Jordan Peterson Videos and immediately began uploading recordings of lectures and interviews. The earliest dated recordings are from Harvard lectures in 1996. By the end of 2013, content on the channel included the lectures from Harvard, some interviews, and additional special lectures on two defining topics: tragedy versus evil and psychology as a career. From 2014, uploads include recordings from two of his classes at University of Toronto, special lectures, interviews, experiments in Q&A format, and video essays. In March 2016, after 3 years of basic uploading of course videos, Peterson announced an interest to clean existing content and improve future content, including a new experiment in crowdfunding through Patreon. The channel gathered more than 1.8 million subscribers, and his videos received more than 65 million views as of August 2018. By January 2021, subscribers on Jordan Peterson videos numbered at 3.4 million, and total views reached over 200 million. Twitter. On 29 June 2022, Peterson's Twitter account was suspended under the site's hateful conduct policy after posting a tweet misgendering and dead-naming transgender actor Elliot Page, calling his physician a criminal. Peterson said he was notified that he would be required to delete the tweet in order to restore access to his account, which he said he would rather die than do. YouTube has demonetized 2 of Peterson's videos, one about his Twitter suspension and another video where he said gender-affirming care was Nazi medical experiment level wrong. Peterson's Twitter account was restored in November 2022 after Elon Musk acquired the company. Religion. In a 2017 interview, Peterson was asked if he was a Christian. He responded, "I suppose the most straightforward answer to that is yes." When asked if he believes in God, Peterson responded, "I think the proper response to that is no, but I'm afraid he might exist." In a podcast with Douglas Murray and Jonathan Peugeot, Peterson stated that God is the ultimate fictional character, which is at the top of the hierarchy of attention and action. Writing for The Spectator, Tim Lott said Peterson draws inspiration from the Jungian interpretation of religion and holds views similar to the Christian existentialism of Søren Kierkegaard and Paul Tillich. Lott also said that Peterson has respect for Taoism, as it views nature as a struggle between order and chaos, and posits life would be meaningless without this duality. He has also expressed his admiration for some of the teachings of the Eastern Orthodox Church. Writing in Psychoanalysis, Politics, and the Postmodern University, Daniel Burston argues that Peterson's views on religion reflect a preoccupation with what Tillich calls the vertical or transcendent dimension of religious experience, but demonstrate little or no familiarity with what Tillich termed the horizontal dimension of faith, which demands social justice in the tradition of the biblical prophets.